I suppose I've been the crusader for countersteering since really before I started the school, since I started training people one-on-one back in the mid-70s. And you know, at that time it was still you know, black art how the motorcycle actually steered, and people they would bet you money that what you said was not true. The countersteering wasn't how the motorcycle steered. So you know, I've seen all these phases come through the 70s, 80s, 90s, now up into the 2000s. But what you say is correct. There are still people out there who are blank on the subject and don't know how a motorcycle steers, and it's one of the single biggest problems that riders have in the vast majority of accidents, is that they don't understand it, and when they try to avoid something like an emergency situation, or they try to go quicker around the track and they need to be more aggressive with the motorcycle and turning it, they don't know how to go about it, and they try harder, and trying harder always gets you less on a motorcycle, as you know.
Oh yeah. So would you say, Keith, then, that this is a good preparatory material to take to school? It would serve you better to watch the film and come to the school?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the thing about school is that the more educated the rider is when they show up, the easier it is for us to train them, because they're familiar with something about riding. You know, if they've already read Twist of the Wrist Volume 2 or the first one, then they come with an idea that, you know, there's something to this, and there's probably right ways and wrong ways of doing these things. And then when they show up at the school, we reinforce that completely. So the reading of the book, yeah, sure, the Superbike school students, a majority of them have already read the book, but I think that the additional illustration that the film brings to it will just make our job that much easier. There's no substitute for coaching, right? It's virtually impossible to self-coach. You know, golf, swimming, diving, you name it. You know, you can run yourself around ragged in circles. So the more educated the rider is when they come out to us, the better it is for us, the easier it is for my coaches to work with them. So it's absolutely a plus, yeah. And that's a point too, whether they come to school or not. What we've got right here is the DVD, and if guys take this stuff and they start working with it, right, as people have done, you know, 100,000 or more people who bought the book around the world, when they have used that material, they've come back with huge success stories about, wow, I was able to control my bike better.
Wow, what a great technique. I didn't feel rushed to the turn point. I mean, at all.
So now this adds that bridge through from the you know, conceptual to the visual, which I think can be massive for some people. So yeah, again, the education points, what a rider knows, what they understand about riding, the more often they go over it themselves, the more likely it is going to be there when they need it. And I don't think that there's any way that you could be overeducated on good, solid material on riding motorcycles.
I feel in control of steering the bike now. I know how quick to turn it. I know when and where I need to lean it. It's like I'm seeing the turns completely different now. My SRs are way quieter. It's so simple. Yeah, once you understand it.
So yeah, absolutely. It's you know, whether I ever see them for school or not is irrelevant. Is irrelevant in a way. We know that there's going to be some additional education from watching it, or even if somebody never read the book at all, it wouldn't make any difference. They can see these concepts. They're there. And I think that they are illustrated well enough and in enough ways so that pretty much anybody can get them. Well, we kind of talked about that. You know, people who have never ridden motorcycles think it's really cool, and then they're getting it. Yeah.
In the project and the doing of the project, did you find better ways to do the school? Better, I don't know, teaching points or angles, or did that spiral back into the school at all, or no?
I think, well, one of the difficulties of making the film for me was that in a way, it's just as much a liability to know too much as know too little, right? So
Curse of knowledge.
Well, yeah, when you know what something is and where it comes from and so on, you always want to fix everybody's problems all the time, right? Well, you follow a rider around the track and you go, well, he's doing this wrong, and he's got this wrong, and he's got this wrong, and this wrong. So what do you do about it? Well, you can't fix all those things. You have to fix one of those things at a time. So it was one of the difficulties of making the film was to maintain the focus, the way we know it actually works, and the experience at the school. Literally, the 30 years, the 160,000 riders and the 12 million miles have brought this home over and over and over again. If you do not focus on one thing at a time, you will not get anywhere. So the school is certainly built on that foundation, and it's been proven so many times that it works that I think the school really added more to the DVD than the DVD added back to the school.
Well, we got to watch it in the hut out behind your house beneath the avocado trees, the film, but not everyone has that opportunity that we had, so they can find this DVD where?
Producer?
TwistOfTheWristDVD.com.
And he said that slow enough that across the bottom should be things typing it out across the bottom of the screen somewhere. If Director Man over there does it right. All right then, gentlemen. Awesome. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to preview the film. And I must say, from my professional film background, you guys did a great job. Fantastic job.
Thank you.
It was a significant undertaking, and the quality shows. Well done.
Hey, but before we shut this thing off, you for sure is that Hollywood sign in this thing? Oh, okay. All right. Then I feel fulfilled.